two coaches naturally say on person omo. But we check Barcelona this season. Barcelona matches on my drop every year so say Barcelona. Acquire PSG for associate Barcelona. Acquire Valicano for associate Barcelona. No, Roma the format my yes be. That's the first question. And say teams some type press Barcelona Panayana Barcelona struggle because Barcelona at a time on the ball no passing. So we say Alonso ne Roma the bit my press higher na on bit my counter pressing. The answer is yes. Because last season under Carlo Ancelotti, na Carlo Ancelotti ka say omo press higher, omo nye coordinated. Because the Vini name Mbappe press and Asia. Obi Mbappe up the press. Balloon so befa Roma the Bobo Kono. Kakawa demonstrate ya ni say. Anytime be a Vinicius Junior, Mbappe, and Asa Mastantuano. Sa 3 players never press na say ewo position half no. You say Roma the former folders. Say eye Jude Bellingham. Eye Tchouameni. Eye Ada Goulet. Omo nyina say pushi ko menim. Etimi ko back up the press. It got to a time ni fullbacks ni hypocrite mi ko menim e ko back up the press. So ye share season I say adia ba kwa Rema the 40 million ye pa no e omo high press and a counter pressing. As they say no omo improve in terms of calculation in their pressing and how omo coordinated in their pressing. That's the reason why I can. Baby ayabo La Liga ne do no o petima. Where we ni boss kese e wo position final third Real Madrid. Real Madrid that yes last season na omo ni pressing no. By this season and Alonso, baby ayabo La Liga matches ne do no. Real Madrid na yebo boku where we need possession e wo position final third. Every single game biano or average 5.2 e wo position third. There is no single club e wo La Liga. See you winning ball position third no onim yes Real Madrid as it stands now. So Alonso ne Real Madrid that demonstrated say on betima press high which you expect say on betima use Sadio and Nyame ado mechina against Barcelona boboku. Last season adia ba kwa Barcelona de tete Real Madrid pan was on offside trap. Na Real Madrid for nim hono omo ntimi beat Barcelona for no offside trap no. Sa Barcelona echo high line. Time bia na Mbappe offside. It got to a time na Real Madrid mpokra obenaba no almost Mbappe say on time any runs no. And it say oh kosia Barcelona ken opa kosoro ba form. Barcelona for say omo nsesa omo high line no. Ya obia kan de also okebia no Barcelona for say men nsesa. So me ye pretty sure say a kosoro ba form e kire so paaswa. Barcelona be omo high line no. So how a Real Madrid for be first we beat high line no. E dia create chances e dia shegu esa be very important. So the big question is Madrid bet my yana. And Barcelona for air omo high line na. Omo right back mostly eye Kunde. Omo left back eye Baudino. Omo mbiem. Omo ye back close aba bromba be ka center backs na ho. Enti Barcelona in their high line eye anomy very narrow, leaving a lot of spaces for wide area. Enti opponent bi o ma she Barcelona bi o beat Barcelona for high line no. Sa diagonal pass ne covering so a then ye benya obi obe running from deep. At the ball ne akwakotum. This time around Mbappe bet my time in runs na. And came in o say one player back La Liga say oh yeah they running from deep. No beat offside trap. Brante friend say Mbappe. Yes La Liga na say no. Mbappe running from deep or yet 20 kilometers per 10 seconds beyond running from deep and ultimately 13 shots. Until last season Mbappe running from deeper. Na oye outside no. This time around and Alonso no. Oma train side na and then ram pokra pay whole story wa hasi. Until every 10 seconds biano, Abrante running 20 kilometers from deep. I saw BT high line no. So remember the phobia to my target is side no. It's up to Barcelona Bobo Kone say. Omo air for me omo high line now. Omo making sure say they'll be on a straight line. Time you making sure say remember the phobia folly for omo outside trap no. By say Mbappe to me improve that aspect. Man debate ma take sa advantage no. Barcelona say Frank papa friend say Hansi Flick ne ball ni nyina bit ma ko ya. Ejina the midfield third. Barcelona is yakan na Pedri. Abrante friend say Frankie Dion huswa. And when Barcelona will be at their elements. Because our two players now join on the ball no. You will feel midfielders omo wiase a. In terms of midfield play, omo complementing each other very well. And it is Barcelona is yakan. Na Frankie Dion na operate as a deep sitting midfielder. Na Pedri na operate as the central midfielder be control game now. And Frankie Dion na better ball ni dey free ho. Now I try say obe connected the midfielders and the forward line players no. And Pedri mum and the better ball na control no waiting me progressive ball no. I making sure say forward line players never running into spaces. No man connected our players no. And it's our two players ni very key at the Barcelona. Nyame ado mechina. Se Barcelona be wini ana so mu wini. Eno kosia Pedri ne Frankie de Jong. Eye two players aken. Ye more time ni space. Frankie de Jong ni Pedri. Se omu usia kan na omu space, omu time a. Enam se oma dream mu do akwesi broni beka se omu football IQ no wasro no. Omu time ni space a. Omu be dream ama o pass bi a yembe so. So adie ba ko eba Real Madrid ni say. E was a time bi ano omu close down these two players. Ye more time. And it's a what check omu game against PSG. Omu game against Vallecano. Omu game against Sevilla. Anytime bi a midfielders ne beji boni bi ano quickly. No ma close them because the moment Abema Pedri time and space, or my Frankie de Jong time and space, no, or dream a pass or the Bemano, or dream one won't see. These are midfielders are technical ability in terms of football IQ no also. So remember the phobe say here numbers in the midfield play. Samad for me yes Adiana. Barcelona phobe create chances. Untimi ni Sadi in free. Say remember the Kosia Barcelona as Barcelona and create chances. Barcelona definitely Nyami Adumet no be create chances. Ombe be remember the for defense nim ebesi. By how I remember for ever avoid the errors. Because when Barcelona kusia or be attack, will be create chances, no. How I be stay calm, will be patient in terms of defending. I won't call errors leading to goals, no. A key at the Real Madrid. When in your mouth for Real Madrid for be here will give him say on person who beat it my friend say Barcelona. Real Madrid on the other side, a weakness. Madrid team, no, and you complete, sir. Weakness be Barcelona beat my exploit. Obia pon kwacha Real Madrid matches omu concede. Teams are almost Real Madrid omu take chances for against Real Madrid no. E teams omu exploit Real Madrid fullbacks no. Madrid for air attack here, omu commit a lot of players up front. So no omu last line of defense no omu isolated. The moment omu isolated no omu lose pass ba kope o the ball ni to omechi. Obeha Real Madrid boboku no. And in this case Barcelona so two players are in terms of size spaces, no, Rashford on the left side, Lamine Yamal on the right side. And the time Biano, Barcelona be decided so Obama Lamine Yamal and Marcus Rashford at the trap. And to say Rema the four committee echo menim. Na Rema the four last line of defense I isolated that. Try say winning ball. Na send the ball back say locate Rashford and Lamine Yamal. These are players running with the ball and without the ball. Dangerous. A bit more play advantage for Real Madrid. And teams of Master Real Madrid now, use idea can say the widespread attacking ship. And the game weekend, Nyami Adumechina. How are Barcelona wings or no? A very effective way to determine the game. Barcelona wings or no? And a very two players on the Marcus Rashford, then Lamine Yamal. Busa on said the entire last season. Yababo classic where we be ano. Na Lamine Yamal nema a branch offense Rafinha who give him. Because Rama the full weakness kasiya pan a team so use widespread attacking ship. Goals for mo considering nano if we sa area ho. Because omo right back Alvaro a branch offense Fedi Valverde the bubble right back no. Left back Alvaro Carrera sa. Alonso person omo nyina involving in attack. Omo involve ya. Rama did any idea can say the few in row. And Tankaya sa Alvaro Carrera say konanim. Fedi konanim who expect me for the sense on be Felix row no am defensive cover. Ebini ho. Tramen intimi nya saade no. Tramen is say otimi obstructive work no. But in terms of the fill in row, eya abusa ho say Kabaha elbow right back. Na Fedi Valverde elbow midfielder Kabaha konanim a hwekwan a Fedi Valverde efa so koye the fill in row on the right side. Say na ye likely say Fedi Valverde bubble right back no. Why na be the fill in row? And a one advantage Edema Lamine Yamal and Marcus Rashford. And these are two dangerous players. And taking a game back, to be honest with you, Nyama bebre ensisa. Why and the be discipline? Why and the be taking moments? Coach Ben obet more adapted to game situation and individual brilliance. Obi abeshe Mbappe, ye beshe Vinicius Junior, ye ba beshe Jude Bellingham, Ada Guillermo, sa players we bet change game ne dia Madrid. Say na Rafinha ni ho, Lewandowski ni ho no, Rashford. And you know what? Individual brilliance no obe change the Barcelona. Lamine Yamal wakasa bebre was a game we mu eni be kono so oje ball na Madrid for no ebebu no obetima sesa game ne the Barcelona na. And these are elements e wo game we me betima sesa game no. By kin say oh yeah oh can no cry nya se me Real Madrid ni. Ball na you see ebo say impre ya no. O consider factors ni nyina together. Considering Barcelona injuries ne sa nyoma ni nyina na. And my Real Madrid for that advantage ne kakra ahead of Barcelona by El Clasico. How I be game no I say anyhow I be game ne be determined by assistance now. Remember the phone with that slim advantage ahead of Barcelona Bobuko no. Chelsea airborne Sunderland. Chelsea fans neniaji because after so lose against Brighton. Chelsea last 4 games, Benfica playing against Liverpool, playing against Nottingham Forest, the Nayas. Chelsea winning nina. And on last 4 games, winning nina. No, metimi 10 goals. Abraham concede 2. And so 10 goals no 8 different players. And I said Yama Chelsea. And Chelsea currently Chelsea Bobo no independent on just one player. Say on kwan be more goals. And Temo that need that confidence. They say playing against a team friend say Sunderland no. Chelsea be win this game no. But won't me underrated Sunderland Bobo no. Ken yeka and Sunderland at 7th on the league log. Omunya bad at all. And the team or that 7th on the league log, looking at the resources, materials, the crano, now or that 7th on the league log. We Chelsea won't mean go underrated. Team a friend say Sunderland Bobo no. Sunderland na who ni na ken. Omo be city deep. And that's one person bobo no omo half. Omo bobo no omo half ah. Normal locate omo midfielders na send the long balls e dia call left e dia call right. And players omo tie send this long balls no. E Noah ana Granit Xhaka. Granit Xhaka ni Noah every Sunderland game ni ma wakele Sunderland team no. Enti ye game back wa me expect say Chelsea ebe control midfield ni ye. Na entimi ma Granit Xhaka ana branch friend say Noah and dominating send this long balls no. And fan kwa ni mo me expect Chelsea say playing against Sunderland, omo de sa form nankasa ebe wrim. Manchester and Brighton ewo Old Trafford. Recently, Brighton have Manchester pa. In their last 5 games, Brighton are winning 4, Manchester winning 1. And kinunim the funny aspect of this omo games, you know. Manchester ebo few ewo Old Trafford. But the last 3 games are close to Old Trafford between Manchester and Brighton. Brighton are sending in Old Trafford. And to Brighton have Manchester Manchester United pa. And o check omo nyina league log na. Manchester United ewo 13 points, Brighton ewo 12 points. Just 1 point and separate omo. And to say omo nyina no omo performance no almost the same. At par. Obi answer than twini yonkumu sa akese sa. And Manchester United last 2 games were winning. Brighton the last 3 games ontimi lose ye. And to be a rag game ni ma as obi a form no di rem no eye. But can watch Brighton team na. Nyoma miensa ana hu omo game nim. Nyoma miensa hu Brighton game no. Hu flexibility, intensity and a quick transition. And nyoma miensa obi hu game nim. Do omo ye na ye say omo je ball na omo right back omo left back eye Matt and a Fedi omo join omo wingers ne Diego Gomez and a Minte sa 4 players we no e make sure say omo be overload na a creative spaces e dia omo midfielders omo ye runners no just to exploit that pocket of spaces no omo dia how omo opponent any dia Brighton for ne ye by some Manchester United for any abre na Manchester United Ruben Amorim and the players ne person omo say we need the trust of Manchester United supporters are what me as Sunderland what could Liverpool chroma kwa playing against Brighton mentality approach and what they now the boss our games now the assign dead points no the same thing and I'm expecting for Manchester United against a Liverpool be against Sunderland Manchester United able to make good results playing against Brighton okay me dem anu cinema me wie Liverpool ne Brentford game no Nyoma nkoyi infama Liverpool recently until say UEFA Champions League omo ko Germany eko win 5-1 Brentford nankasa ken nyoma nkoyi infama omo sa after so omo ton omo key players no by omo game me simple a counter long balls and Macatro sa ensison the major problem of Liverpool omo consider goals no the spaces in between omo defensive lines no wide and so uko share team obo long balls ne counter obe utilize these spaces in between the lines no. And to the moment on long balls no long balls ne kope dam guard wo ho dango atara ho on betima rani etwa for defense ne so classic example Liverpool for first game omu win here against Bournemouth Shanto and semenyo goals or say don't say Liverpool win over his spaces on Frankfurt UEFA Champions League ko Frankfurt for goal no the space and was Liverpool for closest space that's the only thing was Liverpool team here so mutimi closest spaces na Liverpool betimenya the needed victory no mu here no
Kwame Dela yebeda wase Kwame Messi aba so enche na mamene address nso nim komo kakra address embrema
Kemeda say na mamenchia awusi ewo du kwa no fen baby ewo bia mamenchia no any city gym center guys ne nyina mamenchia omoye pa na mamenchia say for the classico game no na Ken nyamia dumwa Sunday the 26th of October. Exactly 1 year. And Barca share Madrid 4-0. Now, me sure say the arguments and the conversation that Enya Carlo Ancelotti Real Madrid, I understand. But if you do a careful analysis, there are traces be or what Madrid would have to solve and game no mabo. Ken, sa game no 4-0 no. Unim say first half na a goalless draw. It was goalless draw. Before that game, Obi Susu say Barcelona Kunde, Pau Kubasi, Inigo Martinez, ebetimi a handle Vinicius Junior and Kylian Mbappe pace na not Omodi Bobo. But in the first half alone, Kylian Mbappe enya 6 offsides. Offside Makuma 6. Second half for the 2 count. It's a ball game new you know. Then Mbappe nkwa as individual or no kwa yes 8 offsides. And they had team, you know. Second half, Madrid team collapsed. In the first half, Madrid had its moments. Almost say Bebre. Vinicius Junior, I do remember on the 21st minute, a cutting be on the goalkeeper. Obobo the same. Me can you see to say in the Clasico, obianya the moment. Games na Madrid elusuning in ano. There are lots of moments. Madrid, if they had taken a conversation, now, Ken, Barcelona team, you know, over their last 4-5 games, Adia Yinimsa Barcelona team ye pano eba from. And this Hans Flick acknowledged the fact say team, you know, defensively on issues. Yes, Barcelona yeah their power offsides. Omuma teams any offsides the power. Yes, it is true. That is for a fact. That was last season. But I feel assassin teams yeah Barcelona say offsides the pass teams be offsides against Barcelona. Ever from PAG 90 minutes 2 offsides per. And now against Sevilla 2 Girona 2. In all these games, Girona were creating chances. Paris Saint-Germain were creating chances. Sevilla creating chances. Against Paris Saint-Germain, PSG creating 5 big chances. And not just a normal chance. Big chances 5. Against PSG. Barcelona versus PSG. Okay. Barcelona versus Sevilla. Sevilla created 4 big chances. Sevilla share 4 nina. Barcelona versus Girona. Girona created 3 big chances. Almost share Bako. It's now teams are creating big chances against Barcelona. Teams are opening up Barcelona's offsides. So first question before we go into the game, they say Barcelona makes me for they are creating ama Real Madrid in your chances na. Because you allowed chances against Paris Saint-Germain, you got punished. You allowed 4 big chances against Sevilla. Sevilla scored all of them. You allowed big chances against Girona. Girona nyemumi bakupe no sheye. It is all this big chance na the man Kylian Mbappe. Conversation ebe kwa saying. Saw the man Vinicius Junior ebe kwa saying. Saw the man Jude Bellingham ebe kwa saying. So Barcelona will need to guard against this. Barcelona, yes, sir. Let's have a conversation about that. Because they say, no, it is quite obvious to say, former Kylian Mbappe won last season. And this season, so share bebre season way, or ball shots bebre, or beating offsides bebre, or running to spaces bebre, what sell a leg and asi bebre. It's how you handled Kylian Mbappe last season shouldn't be the same. Let me give you one example. Mekacha was a 4-0 no. Mbappe nkwaya 8 offsides. Can we start the last 3 games against Barcelona? Why just 3? Average 1 offside per game. Let's just say what say how to beat Barcelona's high line. because first game 8 offsides. We are so vilified. You fire no pa. He went. He learned his lessons. Now on your sabio. It's says you know we are Barcelona. What are you going to do? Ken. Let's say. First of all, me sure. Say Hansi Ebersis a highline in the even a mid block. Sound of a ball because a part of the game. Na highline no. Debia makers and the diane. How the front line will also press. So the high line is not the problem. The problem is the front line. TMA. High line no. They are starting the press. There's our front line no. So front line na anye juma. Back line is sebi esu enim faswo. And as a high line esu nim faswo. Ti I to say ukuta phone. Phone ye kutabi Ken. The ye pa ye high line I don't know phone name. Name sa cover no. I say phone cover no. I don't know front line. I don't know protecting the high line. It is a front no enye juma cover ni nye juma phone no top for moi. Utiati. It is most times our concentration is on the high line. But the bigger problem is that front line ankasa send you missy press last season no and sabio. It's debiano. It makes the back four vulnerable. Why any Abeka someone answer? But last year, the energy at which I now have finger, Lewandowski, Lamine Yamal, no more fast so a preseno. Last season, Upetimwa, a winning possession power opponents half. Barcelona were number 1. They created and scored so many goals from pressing teams and getting the ball. It's a one more occasionally. Now opponents creating chances via pass on the ball and they are not offsides a bim and to the be an chance now goalkeeper save you and to the be an Barcelona near show. But this time around say Hafinya sa personal wepra oni hobby Rashford and a afi obo he's still learning and a center forward one Lewandowski we pray in and out. Say Ferran Torres here nyame antuma so bebo boni bia. Ono so onye fully fit. Lamine Yamal he is having groin injury or bad than 1 ton. Say basa so 1 ton. But I want to say enkani obetimi dia press bebre. Inti first of all there as a weakness kakra ewenimu enunti ene na mo problem require high line one. Inti Barcelona nya saa de ni ya. That is where the problem will come. Because I feel say last year, the Real Madrid for front line no more brepa na entire offsides they say they did not have good passes. Chouameni, Fede Valverde, Jude Bellingham, omunya good passes of the ball. It's either they are hitting the ball fast, they are overhitting, they are underhitting, or they are not passing the ball well, or they are not reading the game well. But I feel me who passes our Real Madrid team anymore. Ada gule nim passe obebo bo ni bi. Say Sakamavinga beboa enya bad. Did house no gine kire no soma passer. That is also a very very good passer. So I am very careful say any Barcelona should do their pressing game well. If they don't do that, they have a problem. Dear Tosubiu, let's flip the coin and shadi. Last season Real Madrid Adebako no munimi ye pa ne say opponents alpha board all build it up. Yes, that's a game of first 15 minutes. Vinicius Junior, Kylian Mbappe, Jude Bellingham, almost pressing giddy. Essence and almost pressing your coordinated. First 15 minutes, no more no buefu no mejai. It's about say teams build it up easy against them. Can't move on to the next one. I'll come back to this. It's Yesha Madrid for so. Akwai so press this time around. Remember 2 examples. This is Real Madrid versus Marseille. Unlike last season, not averagely, Madrid for highline press 93.8. Ken season where we say jump from 3.8 equal 5.2, meaning said they are winning balls. Our opponents half a par. So this is how they start their press. Maybe can't so much. Freddy Valverde normally Nancy Otejina right back no. Onu ne ba be press